Okay, so we are continuing with our review of Dr. Bart Ehrman's book, How Jesus Became God. So I want to focus on pages 126 and 127 of the book. Now, Ehrman says something very interesting. He says, in the Hebrew Bible, I'm reading from page 126. He says, in the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, and indeed in the entire Jewish traditions, we do have instances in which mortals, for example, a king or Moses or Enoch, were considered to be divine beings in some sense. So, according to the Bible, uh, people like Moses, Enoch were considered to be gods or seen as divine beings. That doesn't mean they're equal with God, just a representative of God. So I think Ehrman makes a good point that Jesus is not unique in that sense. Saying Jesus, even if the gospel authors thought that Jesus was divine, he's not unique because other figures like Moses and Enoch were also considered to be, were in some sense said to be divine. We also read in on page 126 of the book, he says that the evidence for Jesus' claims to be divine only comes from the last of the New Testament Gospels, not from any earlier sources. So the Gospels of Mark, Matthew, and Luke don't have these divine claims, while the Gospel of John is the only Gospel that has the divine claims, or Jesus claiming to be divine. Then he says that on page 127 that if Jesus did miracles and that makes him divine or God, then uh, other prophets like Elijah and Elisha also did fantastic miracles like healing the sick and raising the dead, all through the power of God. In the New Testament, apostles Peter and Paul uh, did miracles, and that doesn't make them equal to God or divine. So on page 126 and 127, Bart Ehrman gives reasons why the miracles of Jesus and Jesus' claim to divinity are not unique. It's all been done in the Old Testament. So nobody thinks these Old Testament figures are equal to God. So this applies to Jesus.